if it's working and you believe it's working, then that persistence, even when it's small, as long as you're building momentum and compounding, you can build a really big business. And I think too many people give up early.
That's Colin Nederkoorn of Customer.io.
Yeah, so I'm Colin Nederkoorn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Customer.io. We help other businesses, primarily product companies, send their emails, push notifications, SMS messages, as well as do in-app notifications. And so any reason they have or anything, anytime they're trying to communicate with their customers, they can use Customer.io to help them do that.
What inspired you way back when to originally start working on this problem? Was it a personal pain point or just something you observed in the industry? What inspired you?
Yeah, so we started quite a long time ago now, started in 2012. And back then, there were a lot of analytics products. And we wanted to build an analytics product too. It was more, the reasoning for that was, it was a technically interesting challenge. And when we started talking to prospective customers about it, what we heard from them was, we have lots of analytics products, and those products tell us what our customers are doing. But what we really want is something that helps us influence their behavior. Help me get the person who signed up for my product to convert to a paying customer. Help me win back the person who visited us once, used the product once, and then bounced and hasn't come back. And we thought, wait a minute, if we can take this idea of analytics and put a rules engine on top of it that says, when this happens and this happens, send this message, then I think we can solve this problem for people. And so that's a long time ago. There weren't a lot of solutions that did that. Now today, I think there's a bunch.
Right.
But we were very early into that space of using real-time analytics data to send messages to customers.
Well, and I think you touch on a really important point. Like, were this a solution you were starting today, you would easily be classified as AI, even if like you were still using fairly rudimentary business rules to accomplish that stuff. Like, what's it like kind of bridging one era to another? How has the impact of this new kind of AI era impacted you and your team?
Yeah, I think I was a couple of years ago, or maybe 2-3 years ago now, I was getting a little bored, and the introduction of LLMs really made running a company in technology very exciting again. It felt like it was day one, and we had all of this opportunity, all this amazing tech we could use to solve problems for customers, and all of our assumptions about the world, we had to throw them out. And so I think, the big benefit we had is we were doing that while also running a company at scale with many customers, and as well as a part of the market that we knew how to serve well. And so AI was not, it was a threat if we didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a massive opportunity if we adopted it and integrated all of the power of AI into our product. And so that's really been the exciting thing, is reimagining what would our product look like if we started it today with all of the tech that we have now, and what is the path from the product that we have running in production to this new thing that we would ideally build for our customers to help them solve their problems better. And I think that's the real thing, is like the problem we set out to solve for customers, we are so much better equipped to do that with LLMs than we were with the old tech.
The promise of data and data aggregation is so interesting to me, especially for a company like yours that has been building this data repository over time. Like, maybe describe a little bit like how the new like superpowers of AI allow you to do more with that data.
So for many years, we've been making it possible for our customers to put in activity data about what their users and customers are doing inside of their products. So if they want, they can tell us every swipe, every tap, every screen that someone's on, the interactions they're having with the product. And that's all been, mostly not useful. Every once in a while, it's like, oh, well, when they do this specific tap, I want to send them a message. But we store all the taps, not just that specific tap. And I think now the opportunity is that all of that data becomes a lot more useful. And we're just scratching the surface of how we can leverage that to do personalization. And so, personalization in the past was mostly, I would say, like substitution of variables. So like insert, it looks like you're a customer on insert plan name here. Or it looks like you live in insert city. And I think now the type of personalization that you can do with LLMs is just much more interesting than that. And, the LLM can fill in a ton of gaps. So it looks like you live in this city. Have you been to the Rose Garden, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it looks like you live in Portland. Have you been to the Rose Garden before? And like to do that in a deterministic, in the historical way Customer I/O worked in a very deterministic way is so many lines of code, and all of that gets replaced with, hey LLM, pick interesting landmark.
Yeah, and it's great. Like, I can hear the kind of renewed energy in your voice as you're describing this stuff, and it's so great to hear somebody in your role and the company of your stature having that level of excitement. I've been talking to a lot of like serial founders or like people who've been kind of mucking around in technology for a while, and it's even more excitement than mobile. Like, to me, and somewhat dating myself, but it feels like this feels like learning HTML level kind of excitement for most people, that it's enabled them in a whole new way to build things or kind of envision things that can be built. Do you find similar kind of inspiration there?
Yeah, I mean, when we started in 2012, mobile was in full swing, and my background was in web, and we are now amazing for mobile companies, but we weren't initially. And I think that the pull that mobile was exciting, the app stores were exciting, but this is totally different. This is a whole nother level of what's now possible. I mean, I think it's a step change that affects every industry, inside of technology, outside of technology. It's just an incredible time to be the beneficiary of all of this evolution of LLMs and AI, and it's very exciting.
And that's a good jumping off point to, given your experience, given what you've been through, given what's happening now, what is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who might be a first-time founder or somebody who might be thinking about making that leap into building a startup today?
As a company, we recently crossed 100 million ARR, or in annual recurring revenue, and that took us 13 years. There's news articles coming out all the time about companies crossing that in 8 months or 6 months or 3 months, or I'm sure someone will do it in a month soon. And I think that it's easier now than ever to be very distracted by why is that not me? And I think that founders, for me, the thing that I always focused on is momentum. Are you going in the direction, in the right direction for your business? And are you picking up speed? And if you're doing that, then just trying to do that day after day, week after week, month after month, and sticking with it. I think so many founders, when they have an idea, they're maybe a little early and they abandon it and pivot and move to something else rather than sticking with it. But if you can build momentum and stick with it, as long as you know you're going in the right direction, I think there's what I don't want people to hear from this advice is like, stick with it even if it's not working. No, don't do that. Mm-hmm. But if it's working and you believe it's working, then that persistence, even when it's small, as long as you're building momentum and compounding, you can build a really big business. And I think too many people give up early.
Yeah, I agree. And so much of this is just timing. And like, if you're, like you're saying, if you're close, it's waiting for the market to kind of catch up with you and understand the intuitive leaps that you've already made. But you have to have that, ability to stick with it. As somebody who's been doing this for quite some time, is there a particular resource or asset that you've found that is helpful to you over the years? Could be simply as a human, could be a source of information, could be, one of your favorite books that you return to. Is there a resource you would recommend for other startup founders?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed, there's a podcast called The Founder, I think it's the Founders Podcast. And it's not just about startup founders. From time to time it is, but it's about these incredible entrepreneurs who have started businesses. I think IKEA is one that has been talked about on the podcast. And it's just, I think it's helpful to broaden your understanding of how other people have done it. And so I found that that's really inspiring to me. And the person who does that podcast does a really good job of extracting the lessons and then relating them to other founders and other books that he's read. I think the premise is he reads a book about the company and then talks to you about it. He also has foundersnotes.com.
Yep.
Where and of course apologies, I can't find the
I'll try.
Foundersnotes.com will probably get you to the podcast as well. But that's it's an LLM it's an LLM which gives you access to all of his highlights from these different books. Yeah. And so if you're looking for some Steve Jobs wisdom or something like that, you can chat with it.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out. Finally, to kind of start to wrap things up, even startups that have seen the level of success that you've seen, they still need something. What can we who are listening do to be helpful for you, Colin, or for Customer.io?
One of the ways that we've been successful is through our PLG motion and helping companies from as small as one person. Our smallest customers have one employee, up to publicly traded companies. And I think over time, as the product has gotten more sophisticated, we haven't done as good a job at serving early stage companies. And I want us to get really good at that again. So if you're listening to this and you're an early stage company and you have feedback about how we could make the experience better for you, I'm just Colin at Customer.io. I would love to hear that feedback because it's really important to me that it's such a key part of how we've grown, that when companies are start early with us and grow with us, they succeed, we succeed, and we're hopefully a tiny piece of that if our software works well for them.
Do you have a startup story to tell? I would love to hear from you.